You know what, folks? I've known Lily Allen has been woke on the migrant crisis for quite some time, but I did not know just how fucking woke she was. Lily Allen sparks outrage, claiming the Rochdale grooming gang victims would have been raped or abused by somebody else at some point. Holy shit, Lily! That's a damning indictment of Muslims in Britain if you think they can't help but form grooming gangs, and whether it was that grooming gang or a different grooming gang, it was inevitable. Allen's comments came after a follower quizzed her about grooming gangs made up of British South Asian Muslim men. Let's just say Pakistani, because I don't really think we need to lump in other Muslim men who do not come from Pakistan and do not have a history of the jirga in their country. Believe it or not, they're not actually all the same. But anyway, she said there was a strong possibility rape victims would have been assaulted regardless of whether these grooming gangs existed. I guess there may well have been other grooming gangs, Lily. That is just so red-pilled, Lily. I'm just, alright, let's calm down, maybe. She said, actually, there's a strong possibility that they would have been raped and abused by somebody else at some point. That's kind of the issue. I tell you, I'm with you, Lily. I'm very much against Muslim grooming gangs attacking British people, or just anyone in general, actually. I've got to say, it's not... My concern for whom these Muslim Pakistani grooming gangs are attacking is really not limited to white British people. It's literally everyone that is targeted by these gangs I have compassion for, and I agree with you, Lily. If it wasn't that gang, it would probably be another one. So I guess we need to do something about the grooming gangs, don't we, Lily? I had no idea that she was so forthright on the issue. I mean, I would think she'd be worried about being called a racist or something. But I mean, okay, Lily, you've got this. I'm 100% behind you. For the life of me, I cannot think about what this country's attitude towards women would attract people of a predatory nature to want to settle here. Well, I think it's really because we said yes, isn't it? And they were like, oh, thank you. Also, by the way, we need a council of elders of the village, because it turns out that young Fatima was looking at young Ahmed in the wrong way, and now someone needs to be punished. The punishment is going to include a public raping, just so you know. I'm not even making this up. Like, this isn't me or my culture. This is them and their culture. It sounds like I'm just saying things that aren't true, doesn't it? 'Cause it's so absurd. But everything I'm saying here is completely true. Of course, she apologised for saying that Muslim grooming gangs were a persistent problem in Britain by saying, if there are any victims of abuse, and particularly any girls or women from Rochdale who saw my tweets were negatively impacted, I apologise, of course. Being able to accept responsibility and then apologise is a strength, not a weakness. I agree, Lily. So someone replied, oh, they would have been raped at some point by somebody, so let's not get too worked up because these guys got there first. Is that what you're saying? No, quite the opposite. So they wouldn't have been raped at any time by anybody, but a bunch of Pakistani Muslims got there first in their grooming gangs, which, let's be fair, weren't just confined to Rochdale. So what you think is this would have just happened no matter what city they'd been in. Is that what you're saying, Lily? Because, I mean, again, I'm just like, well, where's the lie? I'm having far too good a time with this one. You know, I thought after that red pill carpet bombing of the mainstream media that Lily Allen would have just sat back and gone, right, okay, my job's done. That's all I needed to do. And, you know, there's going to be a bit of fallout, but it's not going to be too bad. Instead, British MP for Birmingham Yardley Jess Phillips decided to bring in the mother of all red pills and just drop it on everyone. Watching Lily Allen and Stella Creasy stand their ground for the last few days is inspiring for those who need resilience. Oh, for the days of reasonable discourse where issues could be explored. I agree, Jess. I don't think she should back down at all. I think when she's calling out the grooming gang problem in Britain, that she should stand firm and say, I don't care how many names you call me, this is a problem. And when I say that Jess Phillips is busy dropping the mother of all red pills, I'm not joking. Back in 2016, Jess Phillips claimed that there was nothing striking about the New Year's Eve mass sex assaults by Muslim migrant men in Cologne, saying that this behaviour is seen on Broad Street in Birmingham every week, where women are baited and heckled and subjected to a brisk game of Taramash Jamia. But as I said, this is a very brave way for Jess Phillips to try and bring the problem of Muslim immigration into Britain to light. I mean, I had no idea that she was going to just suggest that these sort of things happened in Muslim-heavy areas. I mean, it's true that in 2011, the child in Birmingham was more likely to be Muslim than Christian, and it is also true that Birmingham has become the jihadi capital of Britain, and it is true that 46% of Birmingham are Christians and 21.8% are Muslims, so it's not like it isn't a rising demographic in the city. And I mean, if Jess thinks it's turning the city into New Year's Eve in Cologne, then holy shit, that's a real wake-up call. And I'd just like to thank you, Jess, for everything you're doing to alert people to the problem that is happening in your city.